Welcome to the second installment of CCC's fall Zoom stage production. I'm Artistic Director Jamie O'Ikram. Tonight we conclude our celebration of classic women writers with the wee play Spreading the News by Lady Augusta Gregory, a very famous Irish writer. The play takes place in a small country village and it explores the perils of small town gossip. Our production staff, our faculty, and of course our wonderful students have done a terrific job of bringing a bit of old Ireland to you here tonight. If you missed our other productions this fall, don't despair. You can catch us on our Book of Face page or on the Tube of You, and they'll be there in perpetuity. So with that, I'm just going to wish you sláinte and enjoy the show.
The outskirts of a fair, an apple stall, Mrs. Tarpey sitting at it.
Magistrate.
And policeman, enter.
So that is the fair green. Cattle and sheep and mud. No system. What a repulsive sight.
That is so indeed.
I suppose there is a good deal of disorder in this place.
There is.
Common assault.
It's common enough.
Agricultural crime, no doubt.
There is so.
Boycotting. Maiming of cattle. Firing into houses.
There was one time, and there might be again.
That is bad. Does it go any farther than that?
Far enough indeed.
Homicide then. Oh, this district has been shamefully neglected. I'll change all that. When I was in the Admin Islands, my system never failed. Yes, I'll change all that. What has that woman on her stall?
Oh, apples mostly. And sweets.
Just see if any unlicensed goods in it. Spirits of the like. We had evasions of salt tax in the Admin Islands.
Sniffing cautiously and upsetting a heap of apples. I see no spirits here, or salt.
Do you know this town well, my good woman?
A penny the half dozen, Your Honour.
The magistrate is asking, do you know the town? This is the new magistrate.
Do I know the town? I do, to be sure.
What is its chief business?
Business, is it? What business would the people here have but to be minding one another's business?
I mean, what trade have they?
Not a trade, no trade at all, but to be talking.
I shall learn nothing here.
Amy O'Brien comes in, pipe in mouth. Seeing magistrate, she retreats quickly.
The smoke from that one's pipe had a greenish look. They may be growing unlicensed tobacco at home. Oh, I wish I'd brought my telescope to this district. Come to the post office. I'll telegraph for it. Found it very useful in the Admin Islands.
Oh, bad luck to Joe Muldoon, knocking me apples this way and that way. Showing off he was to the new magistrate.
Enter Bartley Fallon.
And Mrs. Fallon.
Indeed, it's a poor country, and a scarce country to be living in, But I'm thinking, if I went to America, it's long ago the day I'd be dead.
So you might indeed. She puts her basket on a barrel and begins putting her parcels in it, taking them from under her cloak.
And it's a great expense for a poor man to be buried in America.
Never fear, Barsley Fallon. I'll give yous a good baron the day you'll die.
Maybe it's yourself will be buried in the graveyard of Clonmar before me, Mary Fallon. And I myself that will be dying, unbeknownst some night. And no one near me. And the cat itself may be gone, straying through the country. And the mice squealing over the quilt.
Leave off talking of dying. It might be 20 years you'll be living yet.
I'm thinking if I'll be living at the end of 20 years, it's a very old man I'll be then.
Good morrow, Bartley Fallon. Good morrow, Mrs. Fallon. Bartley, you'll have no reason for complaining today. They're all saying it was a good fair.
It was not a good fair, Mrs. Tarpey. It was a scattered sort of fair. If we didn't expect more, we got less. That's the way with me always. Whatever I have to sell goes down, and whatever I have to buy goes up. If there's ever any misfortune coming to this world, it's on meself it pitches, like a flock of crows on seed potatoes.
I taught my first love, there'd be but one house between you and me.
Leave off talking of misfortunes and listen to Jack Smith. That is coming the way. And he's singing.
Over the tide with the leap of a swan, till I came to the side of the wife of the red-haired man. Enter Jock Smith. He's a red-haired man and is carrying a hay fork.
Oh, that would be a good song if you had me hearing.
It's the red-haired man's wife.
Oh, I know it well. That's a song with a skin on it. She turns her back to them and goes on arranging her apples.
Where's herself, Jack Smith?
Oh, she was delayed with her washing, bleaching the clothes over the hedges, and she daren't leave 'em with all the tinkers that do be passing to the fair. It isn't to the fair I came myself, but to 5 Acres Meadow, where I have a contract for the hay. We'll get a share of it into the trams today. He lays down his hay fork and lights his pipe.
You will not get into tramps today. The rain will be down on it by evening. And on meself too. It's seldom I ever started a journey, but the rain would come down on me before I found any place of shelter.
Oh, if it didn't itself, Bartley, it's to my belief you'd wear a leaky pail in place of your head instead of a cap. That way you wouldn't be without cause of complaining.
Go on now. Go on. Out of that. Go on, I say.
Oh, look at the young Mayor Pat Ryan's backing into Shaughnessy's bullocks with the dint of the crowd. Oh, don't be done, Pat. I'll give you a hand with her. He goes out, leaving his hay fork.
It's time for ourselves to be going home. I have all I bought put in me basket. Oh, look there. Jack Smith's hay fork he left after him. He'll be wanting it. Jack Smith! Jack Smith! Oh, he's gone through the crowd. Hurry, after him, Bartley. He'll be wanting it.
I'll do that. This be no safe place to be leaving it. He takes up fork awkwardly and upsets the basket. Oh, look at that now. If there's any basket in this fair upset, it must be our own basket.
Get out of that. It's your own fault it is. Talk of misfortunes and misfortunes will come. Glory be. Look at me new egg cups rolling in every part. And me 2 pound of sugar with the paper broke.
Oh, God help us, Mrs. Fallon. What happened to your basket?
It's himself that knocked it over. Bad manners to him. And me sugar that's destroyed. And he'll not drink his tea without it. I'd best go back to the shops for more. Much good may it do him.
Enter Tim Casey. Where is Bartley Fallon, Mrs. Fallon? I want a word with him before he leaves the fair. I was afraid he might have gone home by this, for he is a temperate man.
I wish he did go home. It'd be best for me if he went home straight from the fairgreen, or if he never came with me at all. Where is he, is it? He went up the road following Jack Smith with a hay fork.
Following Jack Smith with a hay fork? Did ever anyone hear to like a cat? Did you hear the news, Mrs. Tarpey?
I didn't hear any news at all.
Oh, some dispute, I suppose. It was the roast between Jack Smith and Bartley Fallon, and it seems Jack made off and Bartley following him with a hay fork.
Yes, I know. Well, that is quick work. Wasn't 10 minutes since the two of them were here. Jack, Bartley going home and Jack going to the 5-acre meadow. And I had me apples to settle up the Joe Muldoon had scattered. And when I turned around again, Jack Smith was gone and Bartley Fallon was gone and Mrs. Fallon's basket upset. All in is strewn about. The tay here, the 2 pound of sugar there, the egg cubs there. Oh, look now. What a hardship the deafness has upon me that I couldn't hear the commencement of the fight. Oh, wait till I tell Jamie Ryan I see below. She's a neighbour of the Bartleys. It would be a pity if she wouldn't hear the news.
Enter Shauna Early.
And Mrs. Tully.
Listen, Shauna Early, listen, Mrs. Tully, to the news. Jack Smith and Bartley Fallon had a falling out, and Jack knocked Mrs. Fallon's basket onto the road, and Bartley made an attack on him with a hay fork, and away with Jack and Bartley after him. Look at the sugar here, yet on the road.
Do you tell me so? Well, that's a queer thing. And Bartley Fallon, so quiet a man.
I wouldn't wonder at all. I would never think well of a man that would have that sort of mouldering look. It's likely he has overtaken Jack by this.
That's great news, Mrs. Tarpey was telling me. Suppose it's what brought the police and the magistrate up this way. I was wondering to see them in it a while ago.
Police after them? Well, Bartley Fallon must have injured Jack, so they wouldn't meddle in a fight that was only for show.
Why wouldn't he injure him? There was many a man killed with no more of a weapon than a hay fork.
Wait till I run north as far as Kelly's Bar to spread the news.
And I'll go tell Jack Smith's first cousin that is standing there south of the church after selling his lambs.
I'll go telling a few of the neighbours I see beyond to the west.
I'll give word of it beyond at the east of the green.
Stop a minute, Shauna Early, and tell me, did you see Red Jack Smith's wife Kitty Carey in any place?
I did. At her own house she was, drying clothes on a hedge as I passed.
What did you say she was doing?
Laying out a sheet on the hedge.
Laying out a sheet for the dead. Jack Smith is dead and his wife laying out a sheet for his burying. Why didn't you tell me that before, Shauna Early? Ah, look now, what a hardship the deafness has upon me. Half the world could be dead without me knowing it or hearing a word of it at all. Oh, my poor Jack Smith. To be going to work so nice and so hearty, and to be left stretched on the ground in the full light of the day.
What is it, Mrs. Tarpey? What has happened since?
Oh, my poor Jack Smith!
Did Bartley overtake him?
Oh, the poor man!
Has it killed yes?
Stretched out in the 5-acre meadow.
The Lord have mercy on us. Is that a fact?
And without the rights of the church or a hayport.
Who is telling you?
And the wife laying out a sheet for his burial. I suppose they'll wake him the same as another.
There's great talk of this work in every quarter of the fair.
Oh, cold and dead, and myself maybe the last one he was speaking to.
The Lord save us, is it dead he is?
Dead surely, and the wife getting provisions for the wake.
Well, no, hadn't Bartley Fallon great venom in him?
You may be sure he had some cause. Why else would he have made an end to him if he had not? What was it that rose the dispute at all, Mrs. Tarpey?
Not a one of me knows. The last I saw them, Jack Smith was standing there, and Bartley Fallon was standing there, quiet and easy, and he listening to the red-haired man's wife.
Do you hear that, Tim Casey? Do you hear that, Shauna Early and Jamie Ryan? Bartley Fallon was here this morning, listening to the red-haired Jack Smith's wife, Kitty Carey that was, listening to her and whispering with her. It was she started the fight, so!
She must have followed him from her own house. It is likely some person roused him.
I never knew before. Bartley Fallon was great with Jack Smith's wife.
How would you know of it?
if Mrs. Fallon didn't know of it, and if I that have the house next to them didn't know of it, and if Jack Smith himself didn't know of it, it's not likely you would know of it, Tim Casey.
Let Bartley Fallon take charge of her from this out so, and let him provide for her. It is little pity she will get from any other person in this parish.
But how can he take charge of her? Sure, he has a wife of his own. You don't think he'd turn super and marry her in a frosted church?
It would be easy for him to marry her if he brought her to America.
With or without Kitty Curie, believe me, it is for America he's making at this minute. I saw the new magistrate and Joel Muldoon of the police going into the post office as I came up. There was hurry on them. You may be sure was to telegraph they went. That way he'll be stopped at the docks at Queenstown.
It's likely Kitty Curie's gone with him, not minding a sheet or a wig at all. The poor man to be deserted by his own wife, and his body lying bloody in the field with the breath hardly gone out of him.
What is the whole that we're talking about? And what is it you yourselves are talking about? Is it about me man Bartley Fallon you're talking? Is it lies you're telling to take the good name of him? And to take away his good character? And to drive him to destruction? My grief he ever came into this place at all.
Be easy now, Mrs. Fallon. I'm sure there's no one at all in the whole fair but is sorry for you.
Sorry for me? Why would anybody be sorry for me? Let you be sorry for yourselves, and that there may be shame on you forever and at the day of judgment for the words you're speaking and the lies you're telling to take away the character of me man and to take the good name off him and to drive him to destruction. That is what you're doing.
Take comfort now, Mrs. Fallon. The police are not so smart as they think. Sure, he might give them the slip yet.
If they do get him, and they do put a rope around his neck, there is no one that can say he does not deserve it.
Is that what you're saying, Bridget Tully? And is that what you think? Oh, I tell you, it's too much talk you have, making yourself out to be such a great one, while running down every respectable person. A rope, is it? There wasn't much of a rope that was needed the day you moved into Martin Tully's house, and you not bringing a blanket or a penny or a suit of clothes with you, and I myself bringing 70 pounds and 2 feather beds, and now you're stiffer than a woman would have 100 pounds. A rope, is it? I tell you, this town is full of liars and schemers that would hang you up for half a glass of whiskey. People they are you wouldn't believe as much as daylight from without having to have a get up and look at it yourself. Killing Jack Smith, indeed. Bartley, where are you at all, Bartley Fallon, before I bring you out of this? My nice, quiet little man, my decent comrade, he that is as kind and as gentle as an innocent beast of the field. He'll be doing no harm at all if he were to shed the blood of some of yous after this day's work. That much would be no harm at all. Bartley! Bartley Fallon! Has anyone seen Bartley Fallon?
It's hard for her to believe any such a thing. God help her.
Enter Bartley Fallon, carrying hay fork. It is often what I said to myself. If there's ever any misfortune coming to this world, it's on myself it is sure to come. To be going about with this hay fork, and to find no one to take it, and no place to leave it down, and I wanting to be gone of this. Is that you, Shauna Early? It's well I met you. You have no call to be leaving the fair for a while the way I have. And how can I go till I'm rid of this fork? Will you take it, and keep it, until such a time as Jack Smith?
I will not take it, Bartley Fallon. I'm thankful to you.
Look at it now, Mrs. Tarpey. It was here I got it. Let me thrust it under the stall. It will lie there safe enough, and no one will take notice of it until such a time as Jack Smith.
Take your fork out of that. Do you want to put trouble on me and destroy me? Is that what you want? Putting it there for the police to be rooting it out, maybe,
That was a very unneighborly thing for you to do, Mrs. Tarpey. Hadn't I enough care on me with this fork before this, running up and down with it like the swinging of a clock, and afeard to lay it down in any place? Oh, I wish I never touched it, or meddled with it at all.
It's a pity indeed you ever did.
Will you yourself take it, Jamie Ryan? You are always neighborly.
There is many a thing I would do for you, Bartley Fallon, but I won't do that.
I tell you, there is no man will give you any help or any encouragement for this day's work. If it was something agricultural now.
Well, if no one at all will take it, maybe it's best to give it up to the police.
He'd be a welcome for it, surely.
And it is to the police Kitty Curie herself will be brought.
I wonder now who will take the expense of the wake for poor Jack Smith.
The wake for Jack Smith?
Why wouldn't he get a wake as well as another? Did you begrudge him that much?
Red Jack Smith dead? Who is telling you?
The whole town knows of it by this.
Do they say what way did he die?
You don't know that yourself, I suppose, Bartley Fallon. You don't know that he was followed and laid dead with the stab of a hayfork.
The stab of a hayfork?
You don't know, I suppose, that the body was found in the 5-acre meadow.
The 5-acre meadow?
It is likely you don't know that the police are after the man that did it.
The man that did it?
You don't know, maybe, that he was made away with for the sake of Kitty Curie, his wife?
Kitty Curie? His wife?
And what have you to say now, Bartley Fallon?
I to bring that fork here, and to find this news before me? It is much if I can ever stir from this place at all, or reach as far as the road.
Look at the new magistrate and John will do along with him. It is best for us to quit this.
That is so. It is best not to be mixed in this busyness at all.
Bad as he is, I wouldn't like to be an informer against any man.
I knew this district was in a bad state, but I did not expect to be confronted with a murder at the first fair I came to.
I'm sure you did not indeed.
'Twas well I'd not gone home. I caught a few words here and there that roused my suspicions.
They would be true.
You heard the same story from everyone you asked?
The same story. Or if it was not altogether the same story, it was no less than the first story.
What is that man doing? He's sitting alone with a hayfork. He's a guilty look. The murder was done with a hayfork.
That's the very man they said did the act. Bartley Fallon himself.
He must have found escape difficult. He's trying to brazen it out. A convict in the Admin Islands tried the same game, but he could not escape my system. Stand aside, but don't go far, and have the handcuffs ready. Here, my man, you know anything of John Smith?
Of John Smith? Who is he now?
Jack Smith. Red Jack Smith.
Where is Jack Smith?
Oh, where is he indeed?
What have you to tell?
It was where he was this morning, standing in this spot, singing his share of songs, no but lighting his pipe, scraping a match off the sole of his shoe.
I ask you, the third time, where is he?
Oh, I wouldn't like to say that. It's a great mystery, and it's hard to say of any man. Did he earn hatred or love?
Tell me all you know.
What did I know? Well, there are the 3 estates. There's limbo, and there's purgatory, and there is...
Nonsense! This is trifling. Get to the point.
Maybe you don't hold with the clergy, so? That is the teaching of the clergy. Maybe you hold with the old people. It is what they do be saying, that the shadow goes wandering, and the soul is tired, and the body is taking a rest. The shadow! I was nearly sure I saw Jack Smith not 10 minutes ago at the corner of the forge, and I lost him again. Was it his ghost I saw, do you think?
Conscience struck. He'll confess all now.
His ghost to come before me. It is likely on account of the fork. I to have it, and he to have no way to defend himself at the time he met with his death.
I must note down his words. I warn you, your words are being noted.
If I had her run faster in the beginning, this terror would not be on me at the latter end. Maybe he will cast it up against me at the day of judgment. I wouldn't wonder at all at that.
At the day of judgment?
It was soon for his ghost to appear to me. Is it coming after me always by day it will be, and stripping the clothes off in the night time? I wouldn't wonder at all at that, being as I am an unfortunate man.
Tell me this truly. What is the motive of this crime?
The motive, is it?
Yes, the motive. Because
I'd sooner not say that.
you'd better tell me truly. Was it money?
Oh, not at all. What did poor Jack Smith ever have in his pockets? Unless it might be his hands that were in 'em.
Any dispute about land?
Oh, not at all. He was never a grabber, or grabbed from anyone.
Find it better for you if you tell me at once.
I tell you, I wouldn't for the whole world wish to say what it was. It is a thing I would not like to be talking about.
There's no use hiding it. It'll be discovered in the end.
Well, I suppose it will, seeing that mostly everybody knows it before. Whisper here now, I will tell no lie. Where would be the use? Don't be putting blame on the parish, for such a thing was never done in the parish before. It was done for the sake of Kitty Carey, Jack Smith's wife.
Put on the handcuffs. We've been saved some trouble. I knew he'd confess if taken in the right way.
Handcuffs now. Glory be. I always said if there's ever any misfortune coming to this place, it was on meself it would fall. I to be in handcuffs. There's no wonder at all in that.
Telling lies the whole of the people of this town are. Telling lies as fast as a dog will trot. Speaking against me, poor respectable man, saying he made an end to Jack Smith. My decent comrade. There is no better man and no kinder man in the whole of the 5 parishes. It's little and nigh he ever gave to anyone. What in the earthly world do I see before me? Bartley Fallon in charge of the polis. Handcuffs on him. Oh, Bartley, what did you do at all?
Oh, Mary, there's great misfortune.
What did he do at all? Or is it bewitched I am?
This man has been arrested on charge of murder.
Whose charge is that? They're all liars in this place. Don't believe them. Give me back me man.
It is natural you should take his part, but you have no cause of complaint against your neighbours. He's been arrested for the murder of John Smith on his own confession.
The saints of heaven protect us. And what would he want, killing Jack Smith?
'Tis best you should know all. He did it on account of a love affair with the murdered man's wife.
With Jack Smith's wife? With Kitty Carey? Ho ho! The traitor!
A great shame.
Indeed.
He is a traitor.
Indeed. To America he was bringing her, Mrs. Fallon.
What are you saying, Mary? I tell
Don't
you.
say a word. I won't listen to any word you'll say. Oh, isn't he the treacherous villain? Ohon! Go down!
Let you be quiet till I speak. Listen to what I say.
And you sitting on the ass car coming into town so quiet and so respectful, with that type of treachery in your heart.
Is it your wits you have lost, or is it I myself?
And it's
that have
hard
lost my
I earned
wits?
you. Slaving, and you coughing and sighing and grumbling and discontented. And the priest swore out anointing you with all the times you threatened to die.
Let you be quiet till I tell you.
And it to bring such a disgrace into the parish, a thing that was never heard of before.
Will you shut your mouth and hear me?
And if it was for any sort of fine, handsome woman, but a little fistful of a woman like Kitty Carey, who's not more than 4 feet high hardly, and no more than 3 teeth in her head unless she got new ones. Oh, may God reward you, Bartley Fallon, for the black treachery in your heart, and the wickedness in your mind, and the red blood of poor Jack Smith that is wet upon your hand.
The sea shall be dry, and the earth under mourning and ban. Then loud shall he cry for the wife of the red-head fawn.
It's Jack Smith's voice. I never knew a ghost to sing before. It's after myself, and the 4th year's coming. Let one of you give him the fork, and I will be clear of him now and for eternity.
Oh, the Lord have mercy on us. It's Red Jack Smith, the man that was going to be waked.
Is it back from the grave you are come?
Is it alive you are, or is it dead you are?
Is it yourself at all that's in it?
Letting on you were to be dead.
Dead or alive, let you stop Kitty Carey, your wife, from bringing me man away with her to America, so...
Oh, is it what I think it is? The wits have gone astray on the whole of you. What would my wife want bringing Bartley Fallon to America?
To leave yourself and to get quit of you she wants, and to bring him away from yourself, Jack Smith. That is what the two of them had settled together.
Oh, I'll break the head of any man that says it. Who is it that says it? Was it you, Jamie Ryan? Was it you, Shauna Early?
Wasn't Ty that said it?
Oh, tell me the name of the any man that said it.
It was him that said it.
Oh, let me at him and I'll break his head.
Oh, neighbors, hold Jack Smith back.
Oh, let me at him, won't ya? Isn't he the pleasant sort of scarecrow for any woman to be crossing the ocean with? It's back from the docks of New York he be turned with a lie in his mouth and treachery in his heart, and another man's wife by his side as he claims her as his own. Oh, let me at him, won't ya?
Willisman, put the handcuffs on that man. I see it all now. A case of false impersonation. A conspiracy to defeat the ends of justice. There was a case in the Andaman Islands. A murderer of the Mopsa tribe. A religious enthusiast.
Oh, he would be pooh.
We must bring both these men to the scene of the murder. We must confront them with the body of the real Jack Smith.
I'll break the head of any man that finds my dead body.
I'll call more help from the barracks.
It is what I'm thinking. If myself and Jack Smith are put together alone in the cell for the night, the handcuffs will be taken off him, and his hands will be free, and murder will be done at that time, surely.
Come on.
Jamie O'Ikram here again. If you would like to make a wee contribution to our programme here at Clackamas Community College, we would be much obliged to you. Just follow the link at the bottom of the page. And remember, if you would like to see our productions again, or if you would like to invite others to see our productions, please go to our Book of Face or to the Tube of You. Remember, they'll be there in perpetuity. So, until next term, I will wish you happy holidays and sláinte!